Hey friends, this is Rich Sheikh here again, and we will talk about what are the next waves in Web3. See, in my last video, I explained you that how companies and product restructure and their product life cycle changes and how cannibalization occur. So companies who do not really have futuristic view and they do not cannibalize their own product, they actually left behind. And I gave you example of a typewriter, so many examples that companies who thought that they just need to make a small change in their product and their product will continue working the way, just like the example of a regular typewriter and electronic typewriter, whereas the computer came, and then even from a computer to laptop, and then from laptop to cell phones. So basically, these are major shifts in the industry and called disruption or disruptive technologies. Likewise, I believe that this is the time we do need to disrupt the enterprise system and make a meta-price system. So there are enterprise systems in the regular world, which you call it a Web2 world, which are the ERP system, the SAP, the Oracle, the Microsoft, and many others. And those systems are the internal highways of the companies where people are interacting, and there are different modules, whether that is a business module, an HR module, a process module, or manufacturing module. All those products and raw materials are released and ordered based on those orders in the system, and they go to shop order and they go to suppliers, and then again there are the external applications that actually communicate with the supplier or with the customers. So those systems are called ERP systems in the Web 2. But in Web 3, we don't really have such system yet because the companies are not as sophisticated. And matter of fact, large companies have not really entered into the space yet. But I do believe that blockchain and Web3 really solve some major problems. And some of the problems is that how do you really protect a product or an asset, and how do you easily transfer an asset? That was not possible without blockchain before. Like I gave you example of a title. If you have to transfer a title, it's a very tedious and expensive process. Title search of a land or house, and then transferring a title is still a very manual, and even if it is automated, it's not secure. People still do it on registry, with the very old-fashioned way. Now, with blockchain, there is a lot of wave where a lot of companies are coming. There are some plumbers, there are some electricians, there are some landowners, and there are software providers. They are coming up with very small solutions where everybody is trying to just come up with whatever solution they think of. And a lot of those solutions are very rudimentary, and they call it RWAs, real world asset solutions. So the good thing is that people are realizing that this industry cannot just be only just based on fluff. It cannot be just based on games. It has to go on to the real world. And they talk about the real world products. So they basically are talking about tokenizing those real world products. But what they don't have the actual product. They only have the very rudimentary platforms. So I think what's going to happen now is that you're going to have much more sophisticated platforms or systems, and then real world assets or real assets like houses and plazas or multifamilies. People will own them, and then they will tokenize them, so hence even a smaller owner can own it. So that's what StudyStack is doing. We are trying to develop infrastructure where small and big entrants with different modules. And by the way, Oracle and SAP both started as database and process center. Basically, they were pieces of database. And now what are we doing with Stack ID? We are database. It always starts with data, but we are also building these modules and providing an ecosystem and providing an infrastructure where everybody can, not just business to customer, but business to business infrastructure where other businesses can benefit as well, and they can easily interact both externally with other partners and internally. And that is like the venture pad we are coming up with. So these products we are coming up with, these are modules, and the vision is to provide next generation infrastructure for the entire industry, both to interact with their own partners internally, with their employees or with their team members, because now we don't have, that's also another thing changing. The industry is changing from an old-fashioned way to new, the old slavery to DAO structure, decentralized, autonomous organization, where people are not really employees but kind of owners, and then they need to interact. And now one simplistic way, people are using Discord, very, very rudimentary platform. But we need to develop much bigger platform where not only you can easily interact internally, but externally with your suppliers, customers, and with your partners. So this is exactly our effort at StudyStack, that we are trying to develop infrastructure, database, processes, so we can put together and we can provide you a long-term sustainable platform where you can freely interact internally and externally. And yet you can put your real world assets and feel comfortable of ownership and also transferring through Stack ID and other real world asset platform we're trying to develop. And then since we have real world assets, and then we will even be our own guinea pig and put our own real world assets for people, even test our products and services. So it will really be a totally integrated service. That's kind of the effort here, that providing a long-term, sustainable, next generation, B2B and B2C infrastructure and platform. Thank you.